So just a warning, if the whole world appears to move here in a couple minutes, it's because you are my phone balanced in a glass on top of a wooden box. So you might tip forward or backwards. Talking about compound interest this time, and this is one of those things where I don't want you to take notes, you're not going to need to. This is about understanding what compound interest is, and then in the next video, film, blog, am I a web blogger now? In the next one, we'll talk about how to use the formula in practice with it a little bit. You know that when you put money in the bank, at least some banks, some of the time, you earn interest per year. So if I put $100 in the bank, they pay me for the use of that money, and they might give me 6% a year as an example. And what I would do to calculate my balance at the end of the year would be I'd multiply by 1.06. The 1 will keep my $100, and then the 0.06 will give me the 6%, and at the end of the first year, I'll have $106. Then I'll take that $106, leave it in there for another year, multiply by 1.06 again, and see what I've got at the end of the second year. 100 times 1.06 is going to be, oh, I already did that, times 1.06. It's going to give me $112.36. So the first year I earned $6, the second year I earned $6.31. Cool. I leave it in there for another year, times 1.06 again, and I get $119 and some amount of change, about 10 cents. All right, so every year I make a little bit more because I've got a little bit more principal in the bank. I got my principal and then I got my interest, and this is going to keep growing. By the way, this is a form of what we call exponential growth, which you're probably hearing about in the news lately. Some smart person along the way said, why wait until the end of the year before we start counting that interest in, right? I earn my $6 in interest and then I start earning interest on that. Why not halfway through the year earn my 3% for the first half of the year and then start earning interest on that? Okay, so let's remember these numbers. We got, let's do the compounded semi-annually. If we're going to take the 3% from first half of the year and earn that interest and then earn interest on that interest, we call that compounding. And if we do it every 6 months, that's semi-annually. So I would take my $100, multiply it by 1.03, I'd get something. And then I'd take that something, which would be $103, and multiply it by 1.03 at the end of the year. So I'm going to multiply 100 by 1.03 and then times 1.03 again. And that's going to give me $106.09. Okay, so at the end of the first year, I'm 9 cents better off, and we really don't need to keep going with that. It would continue to beat these numbers here as we went off into the future. What if we were to do this a little bit more often? What if we were to do this 4 times a year, say? Well, I'd take my principal, and at the end of 3 months, I'd multiply by 1.015. That's 1/4 of the 1.06. So the principal there and the 15% interest from the first part of the year. And then I would take that and multiply it by 1.015 again, and 1.015 again, etc. So I'm going to multiply by 1.015 times itself, times itself, times itself, which is what we talked about in the last class, exponents. Multiply it by 1.05 to the 4th power. So that's exactly what I'm typing in here, 100 times 1.015 to the 4th power. And that gives me $106, and let's see, if we round, it would be 14 cents. So even better than the 9 cents that we earned doing it doing it semi-annually. We could do this monthly also. If we wanted to do it monthly, we'd still have our $100, and we multiply by 1.005, and we'd be doing it 12 times a year. So 100 times 1.005 0.05 times, 2 to the 12th power. That gives me $106.17. And we could go on and do this every day, every hour, every minute, but there's really no point in that. You get the point, which is the more often you compound it, the more interest you get. That's why we have compound interest. Now let me give you the formula. And this you can write down and have ready to go for the next lecture, video, class, blog, whatever the heck you're going to call these. Our compound interest the amount that we're going to have after t years is going to be the principal times 1 plus the rate divided by n to the n times t power. This is principal, just means how much you invested. 1 is 1, r is the rate as a percent. N appears twice in the formula, and that is the number of times that you're compounding each year. And then T is the number of years. Okay. Make sure you've gotten that in your notes or in the book or whatever. We will be using it next time. I'll see you then. If I can figure out how to turn this off.